begins.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish, 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
Think for a moment about how much time you spend planning your vacation. Now, think about how much time you spend planning for retirement. Maybe it's time to change your focus. Maybe it's time to take a trip.
I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. My team of certified financial planners uses a target retirement income planning model, or TRIP. TRIP is an important tool which we use to evaluate investment strategies and lifetime income products. Then we use that information to determine the best strategy that could provide you with the financial security you seek and the peace of mind you deserve. Call Compact Asset Management at 1-800-388-9700 for your comprehensive, customized TRIP report with specific recommendations designed just for you. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much, how long, how safe, and what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And, okay, none of our teams won, at least of us here on the show. None of our teams won. It was a sad and depressing state of affairs all day long for the hosts of the Daily Blender here.
Wait a minute. Now, wait just a second.
Wait for what? We all lost. Everybody lost.
So you lost. I mean, Keon it went to overtime. Your game went to overtime. I mean, you guys had some excitement.
Hooray! It took longer to lose.
I don't. Oh, geez. Look, I'm just mad at how.
Easy, Jeff. Go easy. Wow.
I'm mad at how my team lost, not that they lost.
Yeah. Well, okay. Listen, let's just go step by step on how our teams lost. First thing, you lost, Randy, due to a.
Well, I mean, I didn't lose. The Cardinals lost.
You lost due to a severe case of Christian McCaffrey. That is what took you out.
I mean,
you caught some horrible Christian McCaffrey, and you were injected and infected 4 times by him scoring a touchdown.
Just a fan. I have nothing to do with the outcome of the game.
Oh, really? So that's how it goes when you lose. You have nothing to do with the outcome of the game.
I have nothing to do with the games either way, whether they win or lose. I'm a fan. We lost. We knew this was a tall task, as I said in my prediction, and we fell a little short. It's on to the next game.
So Brock Purdy was 20 of 21 for 283 yards. You also were infected by some Brock Purdy.
yeah.
Basically, the 49ers are just really good football team.
Yeah,
That's
they're
all.
damn good
That's
team.
all you can say. They're a good team. But yes, I guess if we're going to go ahead and acknowledge some moral victories, the Cardinals.
Don't do that. Hey, no.
Yeah, there's
We
nothing there. I got nothing.
There are some things. If we wanted to talk about the positives, the Cardinals they did not screw themselves. They got beat by a very good team. They didn't throw the ball away. They didn't fumble the ball away. They didn't have some sort of brain lapse. They went in and they played their game. The defense looked a little flat. The offense obviously wasn't able to move the football against a very damn good defense. I mean, the San Francisco, no excuses. The 49ers, they played a very good football game. They're a very good team, and they beat us.
Blissful Hayes says 1580 is completely silent now. Yeah, fair enough. Why not? All right. So I got nothing for you on that one.
Thanks for that update.
Yeah. The 49ers they just whooped your asses. That's all there is to it. And that's fair enough. And like I said, Dobbs was 28 of 41. 265 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he only had one guy to throw to, Michael Wilson.
Hang on just a second.
I threw to Hollywood Brown too.
A couple little ones, little plinkers.
No, he targeted him like 10 times.
Wait,
96 yards.
Did he really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Hang on just a second.
What? To be fair, I did fall asleep.
He had
for
like a long
good
of
part
41,
it.
like a 41 yarder.
No,
Jeffrey,
you're right. I fell asleep in the third quarter.
Jeffrey, did you get something new? Are you speaking into a new microphone?
No, we're just off the air. Anyway, and somebody should try to sort it out. So the Cardinals, well, you guys got beat bad. What was the score?
35-16.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I got beat worse because of Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua, he decided to, really go off, and he hurt me bad. Christian McCaffrey hurt the Cardinals bad, and Puka Nacua hurt the Colts really bad. And then he's setting all sorts of records. And he has set the record for the most receptions in a receiver's first 4 games when he caught that catch, that horrible catch.
Yeah, beaten Anquan Bolden, if I'm not mistaken.
So all I know is we started out bad, and then we came back, which was good. And then we went to overtime, and then Puka Nacua just destroyed us, which is bad. So that's what happened to my team.
Well, he can't throw the ball to himself.
I got infected by Puka Nacua. Matthew Stafford, he was doing all right.
Man. Yeah, dealing.
He was doing all right. He got a little dinged up, though, with that hip injury.
Yeah, he's Matthew Stafford, though. So if the leg wasn't going to fall off of his body, he was going to keep playing.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. The only thing is Cooper Kupp coming back. I noticed right away, once he started focusing on Puka Nacua, and the reason he was focusing on him is there was no reason not to. He was in a mismatch with that defense the entire day. And so what was the point? What was the point of throwing to anybody else? Because I had Tutu Atwell in fantasy football who didn't get a whole lot of anything. The week before, people were doubling up on Puka Nacua, so Atwell got the runoff, right? Well, this time around, there's no reason to double. The Colts just didn't feel like it. So he kept throwing to Puka over and over, made me want a Puka. It was just bad. So the Colts did finally start to figure some stuff out. They didn't really stop, the Rams as much as they just were getting something going on offense. And then, once they got the ball for overtime, it was over. So that was sad. By the way, Jonathan Taylor is going to practice with the team this week. I don't know if he's really enthused to come play for that $4.3 million this year or not, but he's going to be in practice, and maybe he's going to play. I don't know. I feel last thing he kept saying was he didn't want to play. He wasn't going to play. He wasn't going to do it. What makes me think he's going to?
Just that it's not a great look to just not show up. Even if you want to be traded, if you have those conversations with the front office and all of that, and they're like, look, we're going to try and move you. And it doesn't do a whole lot of good to just not show up and be there for your team, because then any other team trying to trade for you is like, is he gonna do that to us, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, well, whatever. The Colts, we showed up for half the game. If we'd have showed up for the entire game, we might have won. Wouldn't that be nice? And then, of course, your Commandos. Man, it was a good fight. You guys put up a good fight.
Yeah,
sort of.
No,
17-7 in the second quarter. You're doing all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, doing pretty well actually. And then because they did everything that they could to try and hold off Philly, and I think Philly was the better team, obviously. And then there was that moment where it's like, all right, you guys have fought hard enough. Congratulations, but Philadelphia's going to come and take this victory now. And then Washington didn't stop fighting. They kept on fighting, and they got that final drive. Philly makes the I don't know if it's a mistake, but they score really fast, and they leave Washington about 1:50 left to try and go up the field and score. They do. And then there was an opportunity to go for two. You're the underdog. You're on the road, and you just battled your way back into a game. Just go for two. Just get the 2-point conversion. It's 2 yards. You win or you lose right there. And Ron Rivera decided to not do that because, by his own words, the offense was pretty gassed. So he wasn't sure if they could do it. So he decided that it would be better to go 50-50 on a coin flip, go into overtime, and then have to drive the ball 70 yards to score that way instead.
I feel like that's a bad excuse.
It's the worst excuse, and none of the players are repeating that at all. So I don't know.
If your team is too gassed in regulation to go for it, then that really speaks to whatever you're doing there in practice, in conditioning. And I feel like that is under the guidance of, coaches. So what you're saying is, Ron Rivera, you're bad coaches.
Yeah, which I don't think is true, obviously, because you were right in the game. So the thing that kills me is our offense was gassed. So what? An entire overtime period was going to make that better? What is the logic there?
And I don't like the logic from AJ Brown. He's like, hey, we're still putting it together. We don't want to play our best ball in October.
Yes, you do.
What?
What
are you talking about? Still putting it together. I feel like you should have had it together by now. And you don't want to play your best ball in October. I understand sort of the mindset, but I'm pretty sure you need to play your best ball every week.
I understand still putting it together to a degree because you do have a new offensive coordinator in there, because your previous offensive coordinator is now coaching a different team. But the idea that you don't want to be playing your best ball in October, if you can play it in October, play it in October. Just also play it later. It's not an either or. You can do both.
The key here is they haven't lost anything and they haven't won anything pretty. It's not like they've gone in and dominated, but they haven't lost any games. They've been able to put enough together to win the games and move on to the next week. And sometimes that's all you need, right?
I mean,
sometimes you need a little luck and to win some ugly games, right?
Yeah, a lot of luck. They were Terry McLaurin's 1 foot landing on this dude's arm instead of clearly in bounds from losing that game.
So Keaton, do you have a bruise on your forearm where he stepped on your heart?
Just a little bit. That one I'm mad about because I just thought like when you look at it, if the officials had the view that we had on TV, they would have said he was in bounds.
But don't they have those views?
I mean, I don't know.
They're supposed to have every view and they go through the broadcast plus what other cameras that they have.
It's pretty clear when you look at it. He actually still got the toe in bounds.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But they didn't make that call. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about
back. I think his back, the back of his heel was out of bounds, wasn't it?
Well, no, because he was facing the sideline.
Yeah,
so the heel was on the guy's arm. The toe,
oh, okay. I'm thinking of a different play.
The toe was on the grass, but it actually was in front of the white line of the boundary there, and they still called him out, which I'm not happy about. But I'm more mad that they didn't go for two. Like that's the part that I just can't get over because that's the part that you can control. You had the game right there. You had a quarterback throw a 20-yard dart to get you the touchdown in the first place. That wasn't a lucky throw. The offense was rolling. Go for it.
Well, right there at that moment, though, he kicked it. and it went to overtime. And that, I mean, that could be worse, you know. And I've seen people blow it on fourth and goal, trying to, or I'm sorry, on a 2-point conversion. So there's no guarantee you're going to get
I
that.
wasn't saying it was a guarantee. I'm
He did
saying
the safe math.
the way I didn't want the safe math. The way I'd rather lose the game is going for 2. I would rather lose
I think he'd rather lose the game in overtime.
Well, to what end?
I don't
Especially
know.
because his
I don't know.
reason
I'd have gone for it too. I'm just trying to help Ron
his
Rivera.
reason was particularly stupid because it's just like if you're going to be the team where they played good defense against Philadelphia in the first half, and then Philadelphia figured them out, unlocked it. They didn't stop Philadelphia from basically the middle of the second quarter to the end of the game. What made you think going to overtime was going to make that better?
And what happened to the Riverboat Ron kind of
Oh,
mentality?
in my mind, he's lost that title. He's just Ron.
Remember, everybody used to think this guy he's a gambler, and they nicknamed him Riverboat Ron. He would always go for it on third and short, and he'd go for 2.
Punt on second down.
Well,
Crazy man. He was a crazy man.
Wasn't going to say that, but
But he'd go for fourth downs where you go, oh man, I don't know about this one, man. And
yeah, I mean, it would be like 4th and 3, 4th and 5. He would go for it if he
roll the
felt like
dice.
his team. And now all of a sudden, has he mellowed in his old age?
I don't know, man, but it's just heartbreaking because when you're the underdog and you're on the road, you don't get a whole lot of chances to decisively win a game. And there was a chance to do it. And I'm not saying it was a guarantee. I'm not saying they would have done it, but I would have been okay with the thought process that says, all right, we're on the road. We got a chance to stick the dagger in Philadelphia on the road. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Walter Mellon says, Jeffrey, I feel like Keon is like one more trolling comment away from losing it. Keep it up. Boogie says, I think Dan Campbell took over River Ron's mojo. A little bit.
I think Dan Campbell is his own man.
Just took his swagger completely.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Dan Campbell has his own swagger.
Pringle says, after 4 games, it's clear that Gardner Minshew is a far better quarterback than Anthony Richardson. I don't think that's clear.
I don't think that's wait, no,
that's
hold
not
on.
Clear.
I watched that game. Anthony Richardson made 3 or 4 throws that Gardner Minshew, if he went to bed and had a dream that he could make those throws, he should wake up and apologize to Anthony Richardson.
Now,
it's unbelievable.
Anthony Richardson is in his education. I keep saying that over and over again. Gardner Minshew is a more polished quarterback, but Gardner Minshew can manage a game better, and he can probably understand what's happening with the defense maybe a little bit better. But Anthony Richardson has sheer freakish talent, like Keon says, some of those throws that he made, and his ability to run like Cam Newton, all those things above, it's better to let Anthony Richardson lose some games learning than win 500, go 500 with Gardner Minshew. That's what I think. And I'm okay with this now because we're building the future for later.
Got a 67.2 rating in his first game back after a concussion protocol. I mean, that's not too bad.
Great, but
it's not great, but it's not too bad. He didn't throw the ball. He didn't throw the ball away. He didn't have any interceptions.
He did fumble. He did fumble.
He did fumble, but he didn't throw the ball away, and he threw 2 touchdowns.
And one of them was, I don't know if it was Aaron Donald. It was some Rams defender had him around his waist and he was going down, and he just fired it into the corner right before the end zone. And his guy just backed in calmly because it just was such an amazing throw.
Yeah.
Like nobody could see it coming.
Yeah, Mr. Pringle, I'm sorry, I don't agree. He says if the NFL wasn't rigged, the Colts would be starting Gardner Minshew every game. But since it is rigged and the Colts aren't concerned about winning, no, listen, the Colts are concerned about winning in the future. Right now, it's the education of Anthony Richardson. You got to believe me on this.
Who starts a rookie and thinks that they're going to go to the playoffs year one? You could if you have the right team around him. But nobody thinks that that's going to happen. Like sometimes you've got to put a guy out there and let him take his lumps. It's not that the Colts aren't concerned about winning, because I'm sure they'd love to win. But Anthony Richardson has to learn in the same way that Bryce Young has to learn. CJ Stroud has to learn. You put all these rookies out there, they're going to look like rookies. Like I don't know if fans have just forgotten that once upon a time we benched these dudes for years before we actually threw them to the wolves. Now we do it and we just expect everybody to just be Patrick Mahomes the moment you see him. That's just not how it works.
Anthony Richardson will be fine.
It seems it seems like the Colts made some great adjustments at halftime too. I mean,
they just started playing. Yeah.
Well, okay, they started playing, or they made some adjustments, and they were able hold the Rams back a little bit, and your offense was able to stay on the field a bit more and score some points. And the defense held the Rams out of the end zone. So
they did a good job getting Anthony Richardson out of the pocket so that Aaron Donald wouldn't have just easy access to sacking him all the time.
Both teams did a complete flip flop in the second half. It was just like looking just this. If you look at the stats and the yards, it's just like Rams did everything in the first, Colts did everything in the second, and then overtime it just was who had the ball at that moment, and that's just the way it goes.
If they could have played the Rams 4 quarters like they did in the fourth quarter,
we would have blown them out.
Yeah, I think it would have been not even a competitive game.
And maybe a more advanced version of Anthony Richardson can do that in the future.
Yeah.
One who gets this kind of education. Okay, Mr. Pringle. Jiggy says Colts run zone 75% of the time. That's the reason they don't double anyone. Worked in the second half, but miscommunication from Moore to Brent, that caused that TD. Oh, that's very astute observation, Mr. Jiggy. I appreciate that. But when you got someone like Puka, if you're, I don't know.
You make one mistake and he's
probably want to go man on him.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, you go man on him, then that means you're going man on Tutu as well. And that's a mistake.
Yeah,
that's just
we had a mismatch already as far as it went in that zone wherever Puka would go. The guy he was coming up against was decisively shorter. So I would have adjusted who was in that personnel for the zone if you were going to, if he was going to keep running those similar kinds of routes. But you know how it goes. They're just going to run it whoever's the shortest.
There's definitely some thought in the NFL where you just go, look, I can either give up big yards on the edge or give up big yards in the middle of the field. And most people will say, I'll just give up the middle of the field. Like if I have to choose one poison, that's the one.
Baker's cocky hens. He's reaching on this one. He says if he keeps making decisions like this, this riverboat run belongs in that riverboat fight video from a couple of months back.
Are
you saying you want to hit him with a chair? It's very confusing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Last Optimist says, as irritated as Keon is, he's at least better than Jets fans today.
I mean, Jets fans feel sick. Oh man. I mean, that's the best game.
What did Jet fans expect though?
I don't think they expected to win, but once they were in the game, I think they could have expected the officiating wouldn't be horrific.
Yeah. Well, we will talk about that here in a minute because listen, as promised on a Monday, we're going to talk about every single game that happened over the weekend. We now have almost just a little bit over an hour to do that. We've been getting by. We've been getting it done, but this was a super busy kind of weekend. I don't know if we can do it. We're going to give it our best. Poor George is depressed. He says, this is all very depressing. I've been talking about our football teams. When can we talk about Diamondbacks in playoff baseball? We'll do that tomorrow. Congratulations, Diamondbacks. Yeah. You got swept by a team and then you celebrated like a bunch of idiots in the pool.
Yeah.
Yay. That was embarrassing.
I felt like on that.
That's all my thoughts on that. That was embarrassing. Anyways, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll keep talking about these football games. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Monday Night Football tonight. The Giants home at MetLife Stadium as they take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Giants sitting at 1-2. They've been off since last Thursday's loss to San Francisco. The Seahawks are 2-1 and they're 5-0 at MetLife Stadium, beating the Giants 3 times and also a win in Super Bowl 48 against the Denver Broncos. The Seahawks are favored by 1.5 tonight, -115 against the spread. The Giants -105, getting the 1.5. On the money line, Seattle -132, New York +112. The over-under total is at 47.5. Giants running back Saquon Barkley, a game-time decision with a high ankle sprain. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
It's the sound of the fight song, the excitement of the rivalry. It's the unbelievable upsets. It's the Heisman hopefuls. Oh my God, Davis is going running all the way back. It's the national rankings. It's college football. The Sooners right down the field. Tune in each Saturday for the college football game of the week. Listen for all the action, drama, and excitement on your home for college football. 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Danny Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and coming up at 4:30 p.m. we got the Seahawks and the Giants for your Monday night football. Kind of want the Seahawks to lose. If all of our teams have to lose, I'd like to see the Seahawks lose. I think that'd just be fair, but I don't know.
I got to be honest with you. After my weekend on the fan pick'em,
yeah,
I kind of need the Seahawks to win.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks winning tonight too on the fan pick'em. I did pretty okay. I'm not doing great, but I did better.
Yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked.
I had a good weekend. I just, for my own vanity, I'd like to,
Tell you what, Earl Randy, your team is just an unstoppable juggernaut in fantasy football right now. Holy God.
I don't know what the hell happened. I just, all I can say is I'm sorry, Swave Dave.
Dear God.
I don't know what the hell happened.
You got like 195 points right now or something.
Yeah, 196.
My Jekyll and Hyde team, 1 week I get barely 100. Next week, 195. This week, 92. I'm going to lose to Ralph. Ralph of all damn people.
No. Ralph's going to get his first victory?
Yeah, at my expense. But let me tell you, everything is broken. None of my star players who would get you 30 points, 20 points in a game were over 10 points. The only guy I had over 10 points was Jamar Chase with 14 points. Everybody else, 9 points, 9 points, 8 points. I don't know why I even bothered. And then I thought, did I do a bad job? No, I scrolled down and I'm like, oh, I would have gotten 2 more points with that player. And that's it. So every player I have on my roster it was like a bye week. They all took the week off for me.
Here's what we need to do. Okay, and let's hope that Ralph's not listening. Right? Here's what we need to do, Jericho. You did this for the good of the radio station.
Preserve a client.
All right. Are you feeling what I'm saying here?
I need a commission then, because that hurts. That hurts.
You did this for the good of the station.
Yeah, okay. I'll say that. Big George says, can you guys please skip the Chicago Bears games in the recap? That was embarrassing. Please and thank you. That's got to be the worst. So right now, the Bears and the Panthers are the NFL's only winless teams. So which one of those two teams do you see getting a win first? Bears or Panthers?
Panthers.
Well, let me see who the Panthers play next. I know the Bears play Washington on Thursday.
Oh, are we going to look at who they're okay?
Well, yeah, because
the Bears are not going to beat the Commandos. That's
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Panthers got,
and with the first pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Chicago Bears take
the Panthers got the Lions on Sunday. Good Lord.
Look at your Cardinals, Randy. Even though they lost, I will say this: all the pundits gave big time props, saying, "Wow, this Cardinals team is actually a lot better, even though they lost. Boy, that's a lot better team than they started the year with." And everybody's just like, "Yeah, keep an eye on these guys." That just means that your coach is actually not too bad, and your team's improving, man.
I feel like the team is okay. I don't feel like they're great. I don't feel like they're contenders, and I don't anticipate us going to the playoffs. But I feel like the team. I mean, James Conner's playing out of his head. Joshua Dobbs, who imagined him coming in and doing the job that he's been doing? He didn't throw any interceptions. Had 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's doing pretty damn well.
I owe Josh Dobbs an apology because I specifically said that he would not do that. He's
Yeah,
he's
they-
played better than I thought by
Yeah,
a
NoHo
lot.
Hank is doing just fine.
Wow.
Hey, 1659. Are you a bot or are you a real person? We have a new texter here on the text line. It says Michael Wilson is my new Cardinals man crush. Next Fitz in the making, he says. You feel like that Michael Wilson is the next Fitz?
Well, I mean, he had 76 yards last weekend.
Couple of touchdowns.
Mhm.
Caught
Yeah, I
every,
mean,
every pass
two of
that
them.
was thrown his way.
He seems to be sort of a favorite of Joshua Dobbs. I mean, he seems to be doing. Marquise Hollywood Brown seems to be doing well, but there are a lot of guys on this receiving core that I don't know. I don't know these names. And then you've got, he's got to be a team leader. James Conner has been running as though he's a man possessed. He's been on a mission to keep this team up. And I think he's feeling good. I think he's running well. And congratulations, James Conner, because you got this team following your lead.
Well, primetime texter says big game next week. Cardinals versus Bengals, playing for that Caleb Williams sweepstakes. It does sort of seem that way, but I
What do
think
you
both
mean?
those teams
Cardinals versus Bengals
both-
is the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
aren't the Bengals and the Cardinals both 1-win teams right now?
Yeah, the Bengals
but-
are, but
yeah.
the Bengals wouldn't draft Caleb Williams. so that would be
He's just
ridiculous.
saying that they're bad
But
teams.
yeah, but the Cardinals are 1-3. I don't know that they're going to be playing for the Caleb Williams sweepstakes because the aforementioned Panthers and Bears exist,
Yeah.
and the Bears have the Panthers pick, so that's just the Bears pick too.
Wow. Everything has changed a little bit. So congratulations, Cardinals, on being better than we thought you would be, and then thus shooting yourself in the foot that way.
No, we're gonna
Let's-
win this. We're gonna win this week.
Sure. Let's talk about actually, you know what? I can't say for sure. You won't beat the Bengals, how bad they've been playing. Let's talk, though, about the games in the order that they did appear. Did anybody wake up early and watch the Jaguars sort of slap the Falcons, the jet lag Falcons around for a while?
Nope. I fell asleep listening to that one on the app.
Oof, 23-7. I actually did get up early because I had to go to the bathroom. Then I was like, I wonder how that Toy Story thing looks on Disney Plus. So I went over to the Disney Plus and I watched it, and it was weird. It was
it's
like glitchy, like a video game in test mode. Like they just built this video game.
Yeah.
And like the guy's hands were all jittery, like a bunch of meth addicts. It was just like weird, but it was also kind of cool. And then, man, I could live without Booger and the other guy doing all that. And Dan Orlovsky shows up as a cartoon. And I'm like, I got to turn this off. And
Yeah,
I
that's-
realized I hadn't put my ESPN Plus on the TV, so I couldn't watch the game in real time. And I just like the hell. with
well,
it,
the
click.
game was incredibly delayed anyway, so that's what I heard. I didn't get to watch.
was
this
it?
on the
Yeah.
ESPN Plus, but there was a big delay. If you were watching the game and you were watching the Toy Story stream thing, the Toy Story one was like a good 2 or 3 minutes behind.
That's
So it's
fine.
just-
It was
yeah.
they're just trying something new, and I thought it was a cool attempt. It just wasn't great. I mean, Andy's room looked good. Nobody wanted to talk about that crusty sock in the corner in Andy's room, and that's fine. He's getting older. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's true.
It's none of my business.
But I did think it was funny when they had to measure the first down, and then the Slinky Dog comes up so they can measure with the
Mhm.
Slinky Dog. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's
it had some promise, but the technology not quite there yet, and to do that sort of thing in real time. But anyways, yeah, there was really nothing to say about the Jaguars beating down the Falcons, other than seriously.
And
the one
also-
thing was really annoying is these British fans. I don't think they understand football. They just like for the entire time stood there singing "Sweet Caroline."
well because they know
over
that
and over.
Americans like to sing that song, and also the
Not
British.
not the
not-
entire damn game.
Not the entire damn game, but this is the thing that this is European specifically.
Ugh.
They sing during their games. They watch rugby, soccer.
They only know
Oh, yeah.
one song
Yeah.
for football.
Well, no, they only
No.
know one song that Americans sing at games.
There's tons of we all share the same
You know,
music
here's
in English.
Here's my take on that. Thank God it wasn't a Taylor Swift tune.
Macarena. I mean, at least it wasn't that. You know, I'll take a Taylor Swift over the Macarena or who
Really?
who
Really?
like I don't know her music enough. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know. Maybe I would regret it.
It wasn't like Who Let the Dogs Out, and it
Who-
wasn't a Taylor
who-
Swift tune.
Yeah. Yeah. British people need to, I don't know, they need to learn something. That's all I got to
Yeah,
say.
look,
It was annoying.
we sent a game over to there that they don't know. Of course, they're going to be weird about it.
They kind of know it, don't they?
They kind of know it,
understand
but they
what
don't. But they don't.
rugby is, right?
They do, but rugby's kind of like football, but not really.
Yeah, well, I think they're thrown because these guys are wearing all this equipment.
You got the equipment, but also there's no forward pass in rugby, and they're you don't stop for every down. You just if there's
they may not understand it, but they show up,
Yeah.
don't they? And they're enthusiastically drunk, which is good.
The Atlanta Falcons London Twitter page. There was a guy that showed up and he had all of this Falcon stuff. And they were like, yeah, he's never seen a game of football before in his life. And he decided this morning he wanted to be a Falcons fan. And then after the game, they updated it and said he changed his mind. After Desmond Ridder threw 2 interceptions and fumbled the ball some more.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's like your first time watching this sport. You pick a team and it's like the worst performance of a pretty bad quarterback.
Back, you bunch of blokes. I'll never be back.
They cut to the crowd and there's a guy with a Packers cheese head. Just like, I don't think they understand
Just
this.
a
but that's
waste of
fine.
a Bijan Robinson 105-yard performance. Good lord.
Woof. Woof. Big George says my favorite part of the Toy Story game, was seeing Slinky back his ass up when the team got a penalty. That was pretty good. All right, let's see here. Let me clean up the text line. There's a lot going on here. Blissful Hayes says, I got 2 words for Keon, CJ Stroud. Many rookies have been successful in the NFL over the years. Yeah, but remember when we were talking about who should draft who? Some were plug and play ready. Some were super talented, needed some education. I don't know why everybody's so confused about this.
I don't understand. I'm with you. CJ Stroud was a polished player. Like Blissful Hayes, I know you were listening when we were doing our draft coverage stuff. Like CJ Stroud is the most mechanically sound quarterback in this entire draft. There wasn't a whole lot for him to learn. He just now needs to learn how to play at the speed of the NFL. Anthony Richardson played infinitely less football than CJ Stroud did in college. So he needs just the game experience, period. And he was never, an accurate passer in the first place. So they're working on him with his mechanics as well. Like I'll give you another example. Josh Allen, year 1, he sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you trying to say? Everybody takes a different path to being a starter.
If you are throwing guys out there before they're ready, well, then you have to expect the education of the guy and hope he doesn't get hurt. So far, the Colts have not done a great job of not letting him get hurt. But a lot of that has everything to do with him himself.
They've done part 1, the education of the guy. They haven't done part 2, keeping him upright and keeping him from getting injured.
Swazman says, hey, is tonight's game going to be on 1580? Because right now it's silent. I don't know where the people are working on it. I got texts and stuff going there. They're talking about it, working on it. Some technical difficulty, but the FMs are on, Swazman. And presumably, yes, 1580 will be on and carrying it. And if there is any issue with that, you can always listen to it on our stream at 1580thefanatic.com. You can just listen to it right there. You can listen to it on our app on our phone, which you can also get at 1580thefanatic.com or one of the FMs, whatever, man. Plenty of different ways you can get tonight's game if you wanna here on 1580 The Fanatic. Or not 1580. You know what I'm saying. Last Optimist says, Last Optimist, I'm going to hold on to the Jets tweet text until a little bit later. Cowboy Sparky says, maybe if I move the antenna this angle. Nope. Maybe this angle. Nope. Maybe some foil. Everybody just, that's the other thing. I guess if people haven't figured out to listen to the stream when these things happen, who am I talking to? Well, Average Joe says, okay, I'm going to hold off on all of these texts. Everybody just wants, should we just flip flop this thing? Because it seems like they want to talk about last night first. Should we talk about what happened last night first?
I mean, that's where the people want to go.
Jets. Hold on. Now it's all out of order. We always try to go in the order of how the games went on the NFL Fan Pick'em thing. I got a lot of pages on this. Here we go. We got it. All right. So why does everybody want to talk about last night's game? It wasn't even a great game. It was an ugly game. And yes, it was ugly for the Chiefs. And there's a sign of life that you see coming out of Mac Jones there. And now, when you watch this game, I fell asleep. I did.
No.
So I start watching the game. The first thing I notice is they keep cutting away to Taylor Swift. I'm just like, stop. And the second thing I notice is everybody's like, Taylor, Taylor, Taylor. I'm like, did you not just see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and Blake Lively and some other famous people walk in? And then nobody even mentions that. There's Taylor, Taylor, Taylor. And it's like, man, Deadpool and Wolverine. And I don't know what Blake Lively does, but they're far more famous and interesting than Taylor Swift.
I have to argue that one.
You don't think that Deadpool and
No.
Wolverine is more interesting than Taylor Swift?
I would 100% disagree with that.
Wow. Why is that?
Taylor Swift, she could fart into a microphone. It'd be a double platinum by the end of the week.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's good.
It doesn't matter if it's good. People buy it. I mean, Taylor Swift, I'm not kidding you, could fart into a microphone and then it would be double platinum by the end of the damn week. I don't know what she's got. I don't know why everybody loves her.
It's got to be a lipstick.
Well, I guess. I don't know. But, a far bigger star was in attendance last night than all of those people that you mentioned. Damn, Jake from State Farm was in the stadium.
No, he
with
wasn't. No.
Travis
No,
Kelsey's mom.
Randy,
And-
that was Eagles. That was
Yeah,
the Eagles game. Jason Kelsey plays for the Eagles. So mom goes back and forth between Travis and Jason's games. And so he went to Jason Kelsey's game. And she's sitting there, and look who does cozy up, Jake from State Farm, making, hey, how you doing? That's fine, I guess. I mean, who am I to judge? But I guess now it's understandable that
she went to go see the other Kelsey and Swift.
Yeah, they're
See,
dating.
nobody's talking about Jake from State Farm and Kelsey's mom.
They're dating. I think it's clear to
pretty
say
sure
that
I don't know
Donna Kelsey and Jake from State Farm
And there you
are
go.
bumping uglies.
I don't think that's what's
They're
happening.
making the beast with two backs.
He's making time with her right there.
Damn right. I mean, I don't know. I
don't think that's what's happening. I don't.
Yeah. I'm
but-
pretty sure it is. Yeah.
That's the sound of
there's,
the springs on the car. Just saying. I mean, he better be careful because, Jason Kelsey probably not going to take too kindly to Jake from State Farm.
Jason Kelsey's got his own issues to deal with rather than Jake from State Farm.
He's got new kids.
Doing the ugly with his
Yeah.
mom. Come on.
Anyway, we haven't talked about the game yet. So let's do that, and we'll try to get all your texts about all this silliness when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a goat as your co-host and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. The NFL Week 4 finale has the Seattle Seahawks flying east to take on the New York Giants. Quarterback Daniel Jones and the Giants are off to a 1-2 start, while the Geno Smith-led Seahawks will be hunting a third straight win. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner for all the action on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Hey, in New York, right now I'm looking at all of the unders for Jets offensive numbers. Passing yards, touchdowns, receiving yards. I'm looking at all the unders in New York. So visit fanduel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's fanduel.com/win, fanduel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Arizona. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Greg Clark Automotive trains certified technicians located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue, servicing Valley automobiles 44 summers now, offering our summer cooling system inspection diagnosis on the belts, water pump, radiator, and hoses. Every air conditioning service includes a dye injection to find leaks. Contact us today at 602-246-2881. And online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off of labor.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, so we decided to flip everything upside down because everybody want to talk about last night's game. It seems like NBC just wanted to. I mean, even like when Patrick Mahomes threw an interception, they just for a brief second, it was almost like subliminal messaging. They showed Taylor Swift and they went away. It's like, what are you doing over there at NBC?
Well, yeah, they know that the Swifties are watching, so they're going to go ahead and soak up these delicious ratings, and that's just what it is.
It'll be interesting to see what effect it had, but I know for football fans, we were over it last week. We don't care anymore that Taylor Swift has shown up or that Travis Kelce is gazing lovingly up at the box. Enough. I'm sure he gazes lovingly at her box all the time. I don't need to see him looking up there at it. Anyway,
he's looking at the scoreboard. There is a 0% chance that he can even see her up. In
absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm sure they show her on the scoreboard and he gazes lovingly at that.
Good point.
Last Optimist says the officiating was horrific and was the reason why the Jets were in the game in the first place.
No.
Okay, so I fell asleep. So what is the true story here, Randy?
The thing I think is I think the Chiefs had a stinker of a game. When do you see Patrick Mahomes throw 2 interceptions and only 1 touchdown? I mean, that just doesn't happen. The whole team had a stinker of a game. Speaking of Travis Kelce, he didn't get a touchdown. As a matter of fact, if you look at the receiving yards, he wasn't even towards the top. I mean, he's nowhere on the box score. You can't see him anywhere in there. So they were off their game clearly last night in New York. And Zach Wilson was pretty efficient with the football.
Sure.
Zach Wilson didn't throw the ball away. Yep. He didn't give up any fumbles, except for one where he took his eyes off the center and they hiked the ball. I mean, Zach Wilson is a guy that was he was in tune last night, except for a couple of errors. And that's what gave the Chiefs. You can't do that with the Chiefs, man.
Did we forget that the Jets have a really good defense? I mean, why did we forget that? That is what the Chiefs were up against last night.
It's a fantastic defense, and I think with the Jets, usually we forget that they have a good defense because their defense is so gassed by the end of the game.
Right. Exhausted.
They don't look good. But if they're going to have games like that out of Zach Wilson, I'm going to give him a chance to win some more games than I thought that they were. He really did a good job taking care of the football and leading that team and finding his weapons. And I give him the credit for that. And I give him credit for after the game, acknowledging that the mistake that he made, losing track of the football when the ball was snapped early, is what cost him the game. I don't agree that that's it entirely, but he did take responsibility, which is something he did not do last year.
Or is the Chiefs defense suspect? They always have been a little bit.
I mean, on the back end of the defense,
So
yeah.
that might have made it easier on Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson's the same Zach Wilson who was Zach Wilson every week for the Jets and looked very much like a Zach Wilson.
I mean, I disagree with that though, just because I mean he's played you know, a team like Dallas, where sure, is Dallas a tough defense? It is, but I mean, Josh Dobbs lit him up, so it's not impossible to go out there and put
Zach
points
Wilson
on him.
is no Dobbs.
I think that Zach Wilson is learning the game and actually I think doing a
You think
better
that
job.
was his, but the light switch click moment was this game.
Not
do.
this game specifically, but in terms of him going through the process of becoming a better quarterback and not just assuming that based on his physical tools, he was going to be able to show up in the NFL and be great.
I agree with that, but I also was watching this game last night thinking, you know, there's something different about Zach Wilson. It seems like he's trying to put a little more touch on the ball. It seems like he's trying to throw the ball like somebody else that reminds me of I can't put my finger in it. Used to wear number 12. Oh yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers. It seems like all of a sudden that mentoring had come in.
Well,
and
he was in the
to-
house.
He was trying to put a little touch on the ball, trying to put a little air under the ball and let his receiver go get it, trying to put the ball where the guy could, like a back shoulder. He was making throws that were oddly familiar to me. It didn't look like Zach Wilson. It looked like Aaron Rodgers' influence on Zach Wilson.
The kid needs
A little
constant
bit,
coaching,
and
it sounds like.
And it also seems like he what he looked like to me was the Zach Wilson I saw at BYU. The guy that I know can clearly play the game of football, not the person that looked confused and lost by every, you know, defensive coverage change that he looked at. I mean,
wait. I know. I think I understand. I know why he played better. Because to him, the kid at his age, Taylor Swift, is a bit milfy.
Oh boy.
And I think he
don't
just wanted to impress her.
I don't think that that's.
I think that's the connection
I don't
right there.
think that that's the connection.
And there it is.
And I don't think that Zach Wilson just has everything figured out. It's going to be a process. He's going to have bad games after this as well. But I do think that he's playing a more mature version of football, and the way he's handling himself after games where he's not throwing his teammates under the bus, I'm glad to see he's not doing that anymore.
Yeah, Robert Saleh is excited to see him the way he played. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers was proud of the kid. That's all good, and you know, but it's a loss is still a loss. And
the Patrick Mahomes, there was like a 4th and 20 or something that he ran and picked up all the yards and got the first down. And there was a hold so long he could have been sacked 3 times over on that play, and they didn't even begin to blow.
He was held so long, the guy holding him was like, "What are you doing later?"
Yeah, like the guy let go and tried to like run to Patrick Mahomes with his arms out to show like, hey, look, the guy's holding me. And the officials are just like, yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was like Patrick Wilson had rolled out to his left and he was like wide open and a cornerback or a safety or somebody came running in at him and he still had the ball. Why didn't that guy blow him up? Did Patrick Mahomes have some sort of magic step that I didn't see?
No,
because the guy completely whiffed on him. I thought it was at the bullfights.
DJ Reed was coming in at 100 miles an hour and just ran clear past Patrick Mahomes.
He's probably afraid he's going to get a penalty for hurting him.
That's what I'm saying. Is like in the last couple of weeks, we've seen guys get insanely huge fines for you hit the quarterback in his chest. That's a flag. Like if you come in and hit Patrick Mahomes that fast, I don't care where you hit him. That's a fine.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's what he was thinking.
Take the damn fine.
Well, you say that, but I don't know. I forget who it was last week.
Fine.
He got fined. That was his whole weekly paycheck gone in the fine. You know,
it's easy for you to say. Right?
Yeah, it's just like don't. You know, your what $48,000 game check just gone.
Well, now you look like a complete moron for not hitting.
But you have your money.
Good. You got your money.
I understand that, but like,
if we got fined our daily or weekly checks, Randy, I think this might be a different show.
Whatever you asked me to do, if you find me for that the whole check, I might change up some things.
What are we doing here? Put some flags on the guy at least. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
The rules have become so ridiculous.
Oh my
God! if you run at the quarterback at that level of speed, you actually do have to do the calculation in your head.
I got to tell you.
Am I going to give them a 15-yard, gain just for hitting him?
Jack Hacksaw Reynolds would have cut that guy right in half. Ronnie Lott would have been like a missile coming in. I mean,
Or, you
nowadays,
could have slowed
kinda
up
like,
and still taken him down.
"Olay!"
Yeah. I mean, there's things he could have done different. He came in at 100 miles an hour. He could have grabbed him safely in such a way that maybe he wouldn't have been fined. It was a bad decision on his part, Randy. You're right about that. But that's probably what was going through his head. I will kill this man, and then everyone will hate me, and I will be fined, and I will be suspended.
It's the same math that I've seen a lot of other people do when Tom Brady was in the league, or when Peyton Manning was in the league, or when Drew Brees was. Like you do the math and you go, the league wants to protect this guy. If I blow this guy to smithereens, I'm getting fined so hard, and they're probably picking up 15 yards too. I might not be helping the team.
Wonder what Troy Polamalu would have done in that situation.
Well, he would have sent him into the stands.
I don't know. Troy Polamalu is pretty graceful. He could find a way to tackle you in a way that didn't even look that bad.
If I'm that kid,
and you'd still be hurting.
I'm just going to keep running all the way down the tunnel into the locker room, clear my locker out, just go home.
Just go home.
It's like, all right, that's it. We're done. So there's a lot of bettors that probably would have liked to have hit Patrick Mahomes for something he didn't do. Tens of millions of dollars were lost because he slid short of the goal line. And then the whole thing was the Jets had no timeouts. The Chiefs were trying to milk the clock, and they were on top. So it made perfect football sense. But man, so many people lost so much money. They said it did shift tens of millions of dollars that just got lost because of the way people had bet. So, there might be some broken noses that have been like ready to take the field and take him out.
They didn't build all those buildings out in the desert because making those kinds of bets were good ideas.
Great move by football player Patrick Mahomes. Really bad move for anybody who had betted. By the way, last night in that game, Patrick Mahomes is the fastest ever to reach 200 touchdown passes. That was an official record for Mahomes. So 888-368-1580. Gandalf is on the text line. Says, sorry for being away. I wasn't allowed to text in jail.
Ooh. Oh,
sorry
Gandalf.
to hear that, Gandalf.
Yeah.
Gandalf
was glad you're back out.
Every time he got to the door, they said, "You will not pass." I guess I'll go back to my cell. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you did. Depending on what you did, we're glad you're out. I mean,
I guess.
Kind of curious what you were in for. Mr. Pringle says the Bears were looking great, but with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, their quarterback took out his wallet, checked his driver's license, and went, "Oh, that's right, I am Justin Fields." And that's all it took to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Poor Bears fans. You're going to get a new quarterback.
Well, but that being said, no, you're not going to get. I just find it weird. You're not going to give your defense any responsibility. Everybody on this planet has been figuring out a way to stop Russell Wilson until your defense had to do it, and then they could not do it. They give up 31 points. If your offense puts 28 on the board, and this is my personal rule, if my offense puts up 24 or more, I don't win that game, man. Like, my defense ought to play well enough for me to win that game. They put up 28. Stop them.
Did you know that Keon's a general manager somewhere?
Is he?
And I'm not a general.
Well, he's talking about.
I'm not a general manager. I'm just saying.
My defense can.
I'm talking about just as
offense
as a fan. I'm hypothetically.
Are you?
If you're a Bears
when you
fan,
hired him, did
you? We should give him our resumes.
You should not. I'm not in
him.
control of anything.
Prison Wallet says, "Who cares about the famous people? Didn't you people notice there's a football game on?" Well, at the time we noticed it, there wasn't, and then later it was annoying. Yeah, but you were right. You're absolutely
there was
right.
a football game on. Why are you blaming us for this? NBC didn't seem to notice there was a football game on for as often as they were showing us the entire suite.
Well, they kept cutting off old Hugh Jackman because he had this like straggly little beard. They're like, he's nobody. It's like, dude, that's Hugh Jackman.
That's not the Wolverine we know.
Bruno Baller says Kelsey's mom's got it going on. But Jake from State Farm. Stockton Slap says Donna Kelsey is just using Jake for his employee discount. Oh, that's right. Gold digging at its worst.
Oh boy.
Wilbur says, so I think Randy is saying that if Taylor Swift farts in the forest, does a bear still hear it?
Yes.
And it wins a Grammy.
A bear and several million adoring teenage girls.
Blissful Hayes says, if Donna Kelsey gets married to Jake from State Farm, will her name be Donna from State Farm? I think it will be. I think by law.
Is Jake from State Farm's last name from State Farm?
Yeah, but I think
Clearly
she'll
it
have to
is.
keep her stage name.
Or
which is
because it might just be a title.
Donna Kelsey.
It'll be a child
Or
Keon.
an
Or
accurate
is it from
description
State
of
Farm?
his employment.
It's Mr. from State Farm to you.
No.
Walter Mellon says, Jeffrey, the team doesn't pick up the fine or some of it for a guy? I don't know.
They didn't for that kid with the Steelers, man. So
I
I don't
think
know.
they would. Scratch Me Because says, did you see NBC constantly showing the fan wearing the Just Endure the Suffering Jets t-shirt?
Yes.
Yes, it was well worn and well played. We'll be back with another half hour after this Daily Blender. Blah, blah, blah.
Sun Devil football returns to Mountain America Stadium to take on the Coach Prime-led Colorado Buffaloes Saturday, October 7th for ASU's Hall of Fame game. An incredible class of Sun Devil legends will be honored at halftime for their induction into the Sun Devil Athletics Hall of Fame, including Phoenix area product and NFL veteran Sean McDonough. Get your ASU Colorado tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It is Raymond and Austin on All Star Sports Radio. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is celebrating their 30th year. You can't miss offer. 125% sign-up bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, and you can only get it from BetUS.com. An awesome offer for this season's wild plays.
Nice, like that infamous Tuck Rule back in 2002.
Tuck Rule, worst call in sports.
Man, you're like the old lady in the Titanic. It's been 21 years.
Hey, I'll be king of the world with Bet Protect. It's like having 30 get out of any Tuck Rule shenanigans in my back pocket.
But your back pocket is usually empty, bro.
Keep your shoulder pads on. Is there anything else about BetUS you haven't told me?
The less you know, the better. BetUS has live in-game betting, a 200% crypto sign-up bonus, and online casino for some blackjack.
You've been holding back.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect this football season. Visit BetUS.com for the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets. Or give them a call at 1-800-MY-BETUS to get started.
So what did the doctor say?
He said I might need surgery.
Wow, it's that serious.
Well, we won't know for sure until I talk with the surgeon, but I'm lost. This is all new to me.
The decision to have surgery isn't easy, but neither is living with pain.
There is an alternative to surgery. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach and can restore pain-free joint function so you can avoid surgery. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. We also help restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. So when traditional medicine suggests you need surgery, how about taking another approach? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, your old pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And we have done a horrible job trying to talk about all the different games that happened yesterday. We're going to have to go double speed in this half hour before Seahawks and Giants broadcast begins at 4:30. But I think we can still do it. I think we can do it.
All right.
So let's get right back on it and talk about the Dolphins playing the Bills. And it was DeMar Hamlin's first game back since the whole cardiac arrest thing last season. And every time the camera would cut to an injured player down, I'd say, "Oh no, he's had another heart attack." And my wife would be like, "Oh, stop it." She was so mad because she bought it almost every time.
Yeah.
But he seemed to get away without any issues. And unlike the Dolphins got beat. Tua is human, and so are the Miami Dolphins. You know what? That was just a good game. I don't know what more can be said about that. That was a good game. The Bills had 414 yards. Defense was playing well. They forced a couple of turnovers, sacked Tua like 4 times. And, Dolphins just, they were a little stale or something, but it was just a good game, I thought. I mean, I didn't feel like this means Miami is broken.
I didn't come away feeling that either.
I didn't see this coming like this. I thought the Dolphins would score, 40 points. I thought the Bills would score 40 some odd points. And I thought this was going to be a high scoring, highfalutin affair. I mean, okay, 68 points. It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game, but I thought this was going to be a credit to the Buffalo defense for shutting down a prolific, Miami offense. I mean, you total yards, 393 yards. I mean, it's still a lot of ground to gain, but you kept them out of the end zone. They only scored, 20 points over 3 quarters. That was it. And they shut them out in the fourth quarter and gave Buffalo the opportunity to close the game out. I mean, kudos to Buffalo. I was wrong.
Didn't expect it.
I did not. I did not expect that.
I didn't expect it either. And the thing that I think that I came away from with this is, Miami's still a good football team, but when Josh Allen is playing like that, you can't afford to make mistakes. So the 2 fumbles in, I forget if it was the third quarter or the second quarter, the 2 fumbles really killed him because they were going back and forth. Yeah. And it looked like, okay, this is going to be a heavyweight fight. They're throwing haymakers. And then the Dolphins had 1 fumble. And then either the next drive or a couple of drives later, they had another fumble. And that was just about all she wrote. Like, you just can't come back against the Bills if you're going to get, this is the best version of Josh Allen. Like the week 1 against the Jets, we got the worst Josh Allen. We got the best Josh Allen in this game. And you can't make mistakes against that dude.
52.7 in fantasy. I know that because Ralph has him against me right now. That's why I'm losing. Yeah. But okay. Pinocchio says the Patriots have not yet begun to break my crumbling heart.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get there. Take it easy. Anyway, so next game up, let's see here. Oh yeah, the Bears getting beat by Sean Payton's horrible Broncos. That just shows you, the hierarchy of things right now. The Broncos are hot garbage, and hot garbage beat the Bears.
Who saw this coming into the season, though?
31-28. No, everybody thought that the Broncos would be a better team than they had been just because Sean Payton showed up. And I think I remember saying, Sean Payton showing up, it's not going to be enough. And so far, I am very, very right.
Yeah, but I didn't think him showing up was going to turn the Broncos into a contender. But I didn't think that they were going to be this bad either. 0-4 to start the year, or 0-3 rather to start the year.
And remember the score between the Bears and the Broncos, 31-28. That shows you how bad both teams are. They are almost equally as bad. This could have gone either way.
It really could have. And I also don't know that it's a great thing about the Chicago Bears that they told Chase Claypool to stay home, and that was their best offensive performance of the season.
Yeah, Chase Claypool, I don't know what his damage is, but he'll probably be asked to stay home indefinitely now. Hefty Lefty says, woo, my team is ever so slightly better than one team in the league. It's baby steps, man. It's baby steps. The Jets, thank you, says, did you guys notice Donna whispering in Taylor Swift's ear last night at the game? Well, Donna Kelsey was not at that game.
She was at an entirely different game in Philadelphia.
Well, no, she showed up at the
Jets
Chiefs game. Yeah, Chiefs game.
Well,
Chiefs,
I mean,
Jets.
it was at in New York in the state. So she went from Philly to the Jets game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was in Philly with Jake from State Farm, and then she did show up later on in the game in the box with Taylor Swift at the Chiefs Jets game.
It's a 2-hour drive. So I mean,
well, Jet says, she was whispering in Taylor Swift's ear, saying, that if she decides buy a home here in the Valley, she should use the jet. I don't think that's true, Jet. I don't think that's true at all.
No.
Big George wants to know how Matt Eberflus still has a job today.
Pretty easy. It's only October 2nd.
I wouldn't have a whole lot of stuff in his office if I were him, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have a box ready to go.
You know, like when you start getting close to the end of the season, I would start, maybe a couple months before, just packing some things up to go.
So Lamar Jackson, he showed up. He
he
showed
did.
up big, 4 touchdowns, and the Ravens beat the Browns 28-3. My only sadness on that is that Deshaun Watson was not on the field to get hurt. So at this point, sounds about right. But I mean, the Ravens are a good team.
Do you think that was by design? They said he was out due to a quote unquote illness.
Yeah, no, it wasn't an illness. It was a shoulder injury. He hurt his shoulder in practice.
This is due to.
He hurt his shoulder in practice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bruno Baller says Philadelphia, although in Pennsylvania, is basically Southwest Jersey as well. Yeah, I know, but that had to have been a couple hours of a drive or however she got there.
She probably had I'm thinking she had a private jet. I don't know why I think that.
If Taylor wanted her there, she got there by private.
Well, I mean, if her sons wanted her, I'm thinking she probably didn't take the train.
Helicopter or something.
And she didn't have to go to rental car. Thinking they took care of her.
Baker's Cocky Hen says Kevin James seriously aged a ton since King of Queens. Now he's the king of bad football teams. I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, haven't we all aged a ton since then?
Well, there was a thing on X, Twitter, Z. What the hell they calling it?
I call it Twitter because I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't care.
There was a meme going around of him in the set of what was that show?
It was King of Queens.
King of Queens.
King of Queens. Yeah, and he looked pretty old, I guess.
Okay. Joe the Show says Staley, Hackett, Eberflus, they all got to go. Yeah, you're right, but it'll be a minute.
Yeah.
Jet says, who wins the game tonight? My picks this week really sucked. Well, I got Seahawks, and I'm not changing it.
I got Seahawks also.
I'm going with the Sea Chickens.
So either I get the pick or I get the joy of knowing that Ralph also lost. A-Wings 22 says, why is it always the worst? Joshua Allen against the Jets. Maybe the Jets are the reason Josh Allen played poorly. Until the officials got the league mandate to let Mahomes win, they did a pretty good job keeping him in check.
League mandate.
With all due respect, the Jets were not the reason Josh Allen played as poorly as he did. Because the moment Aaron Rodgers went out of that game, if all Josh Allen did was dink and dunk for the rest of the day, the Bills win that game by like 10 points. Instead, he decided he was going to throw it 60 yards downfield into double coverage multiple times that game, and the Jets picked him off every time. This bad decision making, ergo, bad Josh Allen.
Did you just say ergo on this show?
Oh, yes, I did.
Wow.
I'm not going to apologize for the.
What does that mean?
See what I'm saying? Now you understand?
Therefore.
Yeah. Ergo, Hefty Lefty says, by the way, Broncos defense is going to make Zach Wilson look like the second coming of Joe Montana. What he's saying is his defense is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you stumped me with that ergo business.
I know we're still sort of
still reeling.
Can we stop that, please?
The ergo.
I cannot. I can't.
Is that like another pair of shoes from Nike? The ergo.
All right, quit flaunting your college degree.
Not flaunting anything.
Okay.
A-Wings 22 says, year versus the Jets. They know how to stop him. You might want to check that text because nobody knows what the hell you're talking about now.
I don't know what you mean by that. The Jets have stopped Josh Allen before, but to be clear, in week 1, Josh Allen was beating Josh Allen more than anybody else was.
What he does in the privacy of his own home is none of his business. You should not shame him for that.
You know what? Between him and his internet service provider, I'm sorry.
Damn it, Keon. Now I got to Google what that means. I know. I bet you don't even know how to spell it. So, all right, let's go on to the next game. Titans put a beat down on the Bengals. Okay, they just need to sit Joe Burrow out until he heals.
Thank you.
I mean, that's the only thing I walk away from with this game.
It's getting sad now because I was doing some reading on the stats. Average depth of target from Joe Burrow in that game was 4.5 yards. He's not even throwing the ball if you're, I mean, he's not even
Sit
throwing
his ass down.
Jake Browning is the backup quarterback, and I understand that you don't want to start Jake Browning.
Jake?
I get that.
From State Farm?
No.
Jake Browning.
Well, Derrick Henry had himself a pretty good game yesterday for the Titans, but so the origin of the Titans offense, but it's time. It's time to go with the backup and let him heal, because if you don't let Burrow heal, every game's going to be like this. Give him a few weeks of healing and maybe you get some wins at the end of the season.
Look, man, they're 1-3. What do you have to lose except a couple of games while he takes a couple of weeks off? Give it a rest.
What else do you have to lose? Oh, I don't know. T. Higgins with a fractured rib. He's going to be gone now for a while. Check your fantasy football. Yeah, T. Higgins only had a couple of catches for 19 yards before he got injured. So,
and then
you're at the bottom of the AFC North. You play Green Bay next. I'm sorry, you play Atlanta next. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong schedule here. You play the Cardinals next. You play Seattle. I mean, give him a break.
Joe the Show says, yep, I have literally been dreading every Sunday that I do not see him on the inactive list. Sit Joe Burrow's ass down and save his Achilles. Well stated, Joe the Show.
We've been saying it on this show for a while. And the thing is, if you're going to have a quarterback of his caliber be this way, and he's clearly not playing even at 50% of his best self, what's going to happen is you're going to start ticking off everybody else on the team who assumes that the only reason why the coaches are playing him is because they think that he's giving them the best chance to win. And you got Jamar Chase starting to go full diva mode post game, saying I'm always bleeping open. Why isn't anybody throwing me the ball? Because he can't, Jamar, because he actually can't.
So if he takes off this weekend against Arizona, and then they have Seattle, then they go into the bye week, and then he come out of the bye week in San Francisco against the 49ers.
I was actually LOLing. I was laughing out loud at Baker Cocky Hens. He typed, sorry. He said, Kelsey's mom rode Jake all the way to New York.
Oh my God.
What the hell, man?
No. Why would you say that?
The Jet says, I hope Cincinnati plays them just one more week. It doesn't matter who Cincinnati plays, man. You'll have the same outcome. Only maybe you'll heal Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it's like Joe Burrow's. If you're gonna lose football games, then at least have Jake Browning be the guy taking the hits.
Thundar, the Santa Barbarian, says, tell Hefty Lefty, don't worry. Our Broncos are just setting up the season for the most incredible comeback, either as they run the table the rest of the season and go on to win the Super Bowl, or I'll wake up. Yeah, you'll probably wake up, my friend. Next up, it's the Buccaneers. How the hell? I just did you notice? They're 3-1. How are the Buccaneers? They have a soft schedule. What the hell's going on there? They beat the Saints 26-9, and Baker Mayfield looked, good. It's a weird word come out of my mouth. You look good. Good.
Well, okay. They do have a bit of a soft schedule, right? You got Vikings and that defense week 1.
You've done it.
Then you've got the Bears. I mean, look, that defense is not good. And any Vikings fan, I hope would agree with me, because their eyeballs also work too. And you got the Bears in week 2. So that was a couple of games there where you're going up against defenses that aren't great.
Yeah.
Then you lose against Philly, but this was a real defense. Like, this is the one that surprised me, because the Saints have an actually good defense. But I think Baker's got confidence now, and he's looking like the Baker Mayfield that was like rookie Baker Mayfield. Rookie Baker Mayfield was good. You can go back and watch how he played. That he was the guy that stopped all those names on that Browns jersey. That was that Baker Mayfield. And then over the next couple of years, they kept changing coaches and all this other stuff. And then it just seemed like, all right, maybe we're never going to be able to see that Baker again. I think we have, because he's got the weapons around him. And they show up with a good game plan for him, where it's just like, look, Mike Evans is there for you to throw the football to. Anytime you get, worried and you don't know what to do, just throw it up to Mike Evans. And Mike Evans comes down with it just about every time.
Yeah. We'll see if this sticks. How about that? We'll see if this sticks.
If they're healthy, I honestly don't see why it wouldn't. Because there was weapons there, and that defense is a good defense. And Todd Bowles is, for as much as he struggles as a head coach,
sure,
his defenses will always show up.
You know,
Yeah.
I was trying to hide this from you guys for a while, but I can't anymore since I led all rushers for Tampa Bay. I had 15 attempts or 56 yards. My longest was 11. And R. White leading all rushers for Tampa Bay last week.
Randy, that's Rashad White.
What?
We already know that's Rashad
Sorry,
White.
what?
Yeah, that's Rashad White.
Excuse me.
You're not hiding anything. You're not hiding your rock hard nipples under your T-shirt, and
Are
you're
you
not.
sure?
You're not hiding that you're a running back for the Bucks. We're all pretty sure
wait.
about that.
You're talking. Wait, what?
Very easy to see. It's very distracting, to be honest.
Excuse me. What?
Might want to put some band-aids on those things. Feel like they're going to cut right through that shirt.
Wow. I
Yeah.
have got to have band-aids on.
Just saying. All right. The next game. Wow. Look at that. Donnie got a win. The Vikings won a game. Wow. Vikings still suck.
Yeah, win's a win, but I feel worse for having watched that game.
Yeah.
That was like
Dear
the worst
God.
game of the weekend.
Dear God. And it took an 0-4 team. You know what I'm saying? They showed up 0-4. Before the game started, they were 0-4, the Panthers. Vikings now have a win against a really bad team.
I mean, and that really bad team, by the way, was leading at halftime. It's
Mm.
it's precisely because that very bad team doesn't have weapons, that they can't really hang with anybody. The best receiver that Bryce Young has to throw to is an aging Adam Thielen. Like, this is not prime Adam Thielen. This is like, he can't separate from people, but he's still got great hands. So if you put it in, you put it out there, he'll come down with them. But that's the best that they have. And that was still 21-13. And it just felt like the Vikings eked it out. It just, Kirk Cousins couldn't stop turning the ball over.
Oh yeah. 2 interceptions.
Yeah. It was just all, I mean, and one was not necessarily his fault. He just got hit in the arm while he was throwing. But man, just mistakes all over the place.
And it was late in the third quarter before the Vikings got going. I mean, to be honest, it was late. I mean, I thought the Panthers were going to win this game. And then all of a sudden the Vikings started scoring points.
Who's beating the Vikings next week?
The Vikings next week play the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's not going to go well for them.
Oh,
Yeah, that's bad.
That'll be a nice bounce back for Mahomes.
Yeah,
So
that's
is CJ Stroud for real? Am I supposed to believe CJ Stroud is just going to be this same guy every single week? They whooped up on the Steelers 30-6.
I believe it.
CJ Stroud is just on a historic pace with his play. I kind of hate that the Texans have CJ Stroud because that's my division, but all right. So here's what they say. Stroud passed Andrew Luck, who had 1,208 yards in 2012. Cam Newton still has the record with 1,386 in 2011. But his CJ Stroud's 306 passing yards yesterday gave him 1,212. So he is the second most for any rookie quarterback through the first 4 games of his career. And, he's just turned out to be a damn good quarterback, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Texans are 2-2 and the Cardinals are 1-3. So
what's the point of that?
Well, he threw for 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's a great passer. He's got great range. He can run.
The Cardinals had the pick.
He's smart.
That became CJ Stroud.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have had him, except for everybody said I was crazy when I said that the Cardinals would draft a quarterback. Okay.
No, I didn't say you were crazy. I said you were crazy to think that you could draft a quarterback and keep the other one. Get rid of the other one if you draft one. That's all I'm
like saying that because it makes you crazy.
Now, the thing that CJ Stroud that I liked a lot is that he's doing everything that everybody saw in college. Like this is nothing about CJ Stroud that is happening here is new.
Yeah.
It's just that offensive line is bad.
He has come in focus quickly.
And in college, he was never great under pressure, but he's been really good under pressure in the NFL. And I don't know what change made that possible. Maybe it's the offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick. Some of those receivers are just wide the hell open when he schemes.
Whatever it is, it's working. Steelers, again, had travel trouble on their way home. They had their flight delayed. At least they didn't have to turn the plane around, but they had some mechanical issues. Is this their own plane they should probably just get a different plane, because I feel like if this happens again, we're going to hear about how everybody's trying to fix the schedule with a team missing, if you know what I mean. I just think it's a bad idea. It's a bad juju. 2 weeks in a row, you got travel issue. Time for a new plane, I think. By the way, sadly, former NFL tight end Russ Francis, he died in a plane crash, a little small plane thing, over the weekend. He was flying with somebody. I guess he was like in charge of some airport somewhere, some small airport, and they were out there flying around in crunch. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't get on small planes. Don't get on small planes. All right, got to take a break. We'll come back. I don't know how much we have left, but I think we can do it. I think we've caught up enough to where we can talk about every single game that happened Sunday here on the show. I want to remind you guys this hour is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. BetUS celebrating 30 years with a special football season offer. Up to 30 risk-free bets. It's called Bet Protect. Get started today at BetUS.com. We'll be back with more of the Daily Blender after this here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, Daniel Jones and the New York Giants play host to Geno Smith and the Seahawks. Seattle's coming off 2 high-scoring wins, looking for a third. Join me, Kevin Harlan, and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner for all the action on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. Hey, in New York, right now I'm looking at all of the unders for Jets offensive numbers. Passing yards, touchdowns, receiving yards. I'm looking at all the unders in New York. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win, FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Arizona. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway.
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The NASCAR season will come to an end in Phoenix, but the championship weekend will last forever. 4 championship races in 3 days, all set against the stunning backdrop of the desert mountains. A Friday doubleheader under the lights, the Xfinity Championship on Saturday, and a Cup Series champion crowned on Sunday. It's a weekend you'll wish would never end. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 3rd through the 5th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Live and local.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and we are trying to get through all the games that happen on Sunday before we finish up week 4 with Monday Night Football. Broadcast begins in, 4.5 minutes. It was Seahawks and Giants brought to us by our friends at Westwood One. So let's get right on over to this. Who the hell is Aiden O'Connell? Where did he come from? I've never heard of him before. Did you ever hear him before? Yeah. He looked like somebody was casting or needed a stunt double for the guy who used to be the quarterback for the Raiders, Mr. Eyeliner, Derek Carr. Didn't he kind of have like kind of a Derek Carr-ish kind of vibe to him? But as far as his play, 24 of 39, 238 yards, and he had an interception, had a couple fumbles, and he had a rushing touchdown, but it wasn't enough, and the Chargers won 24-17. Seemed like kind of an ugly game, man.
And then his head coach ripped him for not getting through his reads fast enough, despite the fact that this is his first ever NFL start. He is a rookie.
Josh Daniels is a horrible coach.
He's a horrible coach. I don't even understand that. But yeah, I thought Aiden O'Connell looked pretty good for a guy, starting for the first time ever.
Yeah.
So probably a really good draft pick there by the Raiders ultimately. But yeah, I just think that, on short-term notice, and it was him and I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson with the Browns, a couple of guys were drafted later in this draft, kind of getting thrown to the wolves this week. He fared better than Dorian did. So I'll go ahead and give him some credit for that, going up against a Chargers defense that
fared
was
better than Herbert's middle finger on his other hand, though. He got jacked up in that play. Why is he trying to why was Herbert trying to tackle a guy on a pick six? Come on, man. Come on.
Why? Because there are certain quarterbacks with that mentality. Josh Allen's got that mentality too, where it's just like, nah, you take the ball away from me. That's one thing, but you are absolutely not about to take this back to the house. And he's going to try to do it. And this is the reason why if a quarterback does the Olay move, people might make fun of him. People might laugh at him. I think that quarterback is being smart.
Yeah, and listen, he was lucky it was his left hand, not his right hand, but it did mess with his play either way, because trying to control the ball, trying to take snaps, he had to. I don't think he could even take it under center because of that big old thing on his hand, but didn't matter. They won 24-17. Khalil Mack set a new single game franchise record, a new career high, 6 sacks. They got to Aiden O'Connell 6 times. No wonder he fumbled. No wonder he threw an interception. That boy got rocked.
I know everybody talks about Khalil Mack is kind of washed up, and he kind of is. But the thing is, he hates the Raiders, and he's that's personal for him.
I don't hate the Raiders. I just hate their coach. You guys need a new coach.
Josh McDaniels stinks.
Like stat. And the last game we have, Cowboys beat the Patriots. It wasn't even a game. It was horrific. And even at the end, Belichick's like, we're not firing Mac Jones. We just took him out. It was just ugly. It was just ugly. 38-3. No, the Cowboys are not legit. The Patriots are just that bad. They are just that bad.
It's too bad.
And I feel like this is the year that we say goodbye to Bill Belichick. I feel like they're going to have a nice conversation behind closed doors, and he comes out going, I figure I'll quit. And that's it.
I mean, that's entirely possible. Also, for an Ezekiel Elliott revenge game, 16 yards.
Yeah. Zeke Elliott, he needs to be sent home. Him and Chase Claypool should just go off and watch football together at Applebee's or something. I was going to get to on this date in Big George sports history. I even had the cup in my hand, Big George, but we are out. I was going to tell you about 1920, the only triple header ever played in the 20th century. Reds took 2 games over the Pirates. And that was it. We don't do triple headers anymore in baseball. So, all right, guys, that'll do it for us. We'll be back in your radios again tomorrow at 3:00. We'll talk about the Dimebacks. We'll talk about ASU. We'll talk about a whole lot of other things, including tonight's game coming up next. Stay tuned. It is the Rainy City Bitch Pigeons, hopefully getting beaten by the New York Football Giants.
No, we
here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Need them to win.
I know, me too.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here from You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show